Hello, today I'm going to talk about the cameras I use on this YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm starting with number 3, which is the Canon EOS M. And you might be wondering why I'm using such an old camera, which on the face of it is pretty limited. The mount is no longer in production. Essentially, this was meant to be a compact APS-C mount from Canon, but they've now discontinued the M range. So why the heck am I using this? Well, while Canon cameras from this era were definitely fairly limited when it came to video, there is a handy firmware hack called Magic Lantern, and furthermore there's an enhancement to it called Crop Mode, which I'm currently rocking on this camera. And this camera kind of gets me a sort of a lo-fi cinematic vibe. I'll put some examples, but I did a music video recently where I mounted this on a gimbal, and because it's so compact, it's easy to balance, and that's why I enjoy using it. So it's not a camera that I use a lot, but it definitely has a vibe when you use it with Magic Lantern, because then you're getting raw video, which you can really kind of tune nicely before exporting it into an editable format. The RAW that this produces isn't directly usable in Final Cut or DaVinci or so on, so there is an intermediate step, which I don't mind at all because it's kind of like just processing a raw photo, except you're doing it with video. So there's a couple of hoops to jump with this, but in my opinion, well worth it when you want a specific retro vibe. And at number 2 is my main camera, the Fuji X-T4. Here I have the 23mm f2 Fujinon lens, which is my mainstay, especially for video. And this camera shoots 10-bit video, got it brand new, like 6 or 7 months after it came out. So for me, it was quite a bit of an investment, but I really enjoy it. I use it for both photography and videography. And while when it came out, it was rightfully criticized when it came to autofocus performance. It's not exactly class beating. It still works fine in terms of video autofocus, at least for my needs, which is mainly talking head and also some outdoor kind of video. And then for photography, also for street photography, the sort of photography I do, you can check out stuff here on the channel. It works perfectly. But where it does excel is in for me, the user experience. You have a lot of hands-on control. I mean, this is where I like Fuji. I actually came from a Fuji X-E2, and that's what made me appreciate Fuji's approach to camera design versus Canon, which I had used in the past. And so yeah, I'm going to be using this until the day it dies. Very happy to do so. There's also inbuilt stabilization, so IBIS, which means that even if the lens doesn't have stabilization, the camera does. Now, the stabilization, again, just like with the autofocus, it's not world leading, but for photography, beautiful, perfect. And then for static shots where you're just hand holding, perfect. Some gentle movement, it'll be okay. But I mean, it's not going to be like you can like walk around with it. This is not a gimbal. But as long as you're realistic with the expectations, the image quality is great. Shooting in f-log, so which is a 10-bit sort of flat color profile, is very editable, and yields great results both on the photo side as well as the video side, in my humble opinion. But now you might be wondering, well, why isn't this your number 1? In fact, it's because I'm shooting with the number 1 camera that I've been using the most recently on this channel, and that is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Now, I'm sure that you've seen many videos about this. You're familiar with the specs. It's basically a 1-inch sensor on a gimbal that makes it very convenient, and there's 10-bit video on it. Rumored, apparently, I don't know how true this is, please let me know in the comments if you have any further insights, that essentially, while the sensor obviously is significantly smaller, it's a 1-inch sensor, it is comparable in terms of sensor technology to the Sony a7S III. But maybe there's some truth to that, because the video formats that it's able to do in 10-bit I think overlap pretty nicely with what that camera is also able to do, obviously here with a much smaller sensor. But the advantage is that you have great stabilization, you have great usability, it's really versatile. I think the image quality, in my experience, is really good. I'm very pleased with it. Also, I'm shooting this and recording, you're hearing me speak, that's being recorded by the internal microphones. Now, obviously they're not gonna perform miracles, but they're definitely stronger than the ones on the X-T4 in terms of audio quality. I think there's more of them, and you can kind of set them to record either in a sort of 360 coverage or just front and back, various combos that I think are pretty useful. But I think we're going to be looking forward to pairing these with the DJI Mic 2 to then kind of get a little bit better audio quality, especially when outside. That's pretty much it. Those are the cameras that I use and why I use them. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned.